What is integrity? It's that idea of truth. It's that idea of honesty, something that's the opposite of a lie. It's the opposite of deceiving. It's the opposite of manipulation. There's that idea of truth and honesty and integrity. A person of integrity knows the right thing, says the right thing, does the right thing. Now, I've been learning about integrity all my life. When I was a little kid, teenager, as an adult, I'm going to tell you quick 3 stories about these lessons that I keep learning. Now, remember I mentioned when I was little that I lived in Wisconsin, farm country. We had a huge garden down away from the house. When I was about in 3rd grade, my mom said, I'm going to have you this year plant all the corn. Now, you got to understand, we're talking like 50 rows of corn. So she said, I've already got all the rows hoed out for you. Here's what you need to do. You put 2 or 3 seeds down, pat it down with some dirt, and put about 12 inches, put 3 more seeds down, pat with some dirt. You're going to do all those 50 rows. And you're not playing, you're not doing anything till that's done. I'm like in 3rd grade. I'm like, okay, well, let's just see how this goes. I start planting corn. I'm like, this is going to take forever. So I'm just going to plant it my own way. I take all this corn seed, I pour it on the ground. I start pushing dirt everywhere, all over, trying to cover up all this corn. Then I go over all the other 48 rows. I start patting it all down, trying to make it look like I planted the corn there, which is interesting. By the time I did that, I could have planted it the right way. So I finished. Months down the road, my dad says, hey, let's go for a walk with your mom down by the garden and down by the cornfield. I'm not thinking anything except, that sounds good. Let's go for a little walk. I'll get some strawberries and raspberries. We start walking. We get close to the cornfield. There should be about 50 rows of corn. There's 1 row of corn and then this gigantic corn tree. I mean, you've never seen anything like it. It's the biggest corn tree you ever saw in your life. And my dad goes, what is that? What in the world is that? I'm like, well, Dad, that's a corn tree. I mean, I don't know what to say. You've heard of Jack and the Beanstalk. Maybe this is Jeremy and the Cornstalk. I don't know what's happening. And my dad taught me a little lesson that day about integrity. Did I plant all the corn? Yes. But did I really plant it properly? Was there trickery or deceit involved? Yes. So I was lacking integrity. Well, I also was learning about it as a teenager when we moved to Washington, D.C. I got my first job at Domino's Pizza. Now, you understand Washington, D.C. is busy, frantic pace. I mean, it's a little bit crazy. I'm not a driver, but I'm working inside making the pizzas. That's like my first week, and I make a mistake. I look at the box, I look at the pizza that I made, and it doesn't match up. It was supposed to be pepperoni. I make a pizza with pepperoni and sausage, and I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble. So I go over to the manager. Hey, Miss Tammy, I'm really sorry. I messed up. I made a mistake. I made the wrong pizza. She was so nice, so patient, so kind. Jeremy, it's okay. I know you're still learning. No big deal. I said, well, what should I do with this pizza that I made the mistake on? She said, well, we're going to make that a crew pie. I said, a crew pie? What's a crew pie? Well, if someone makes a mistake, sometimes we let everyone who's working here eat that, as we keep on working throughout the day. We call it a crew pie. Ah, crew pie. Like the sounds of that. My friend Kevin, who's over there working with me, goes, like the sounds of the crew pie. So all of a sudden, about once a week, there were these mistakes mysteriously being made on different pizzas. Crew pie after crew pie, until Miss Tammy figured out what we were doing. Then she came out about 3 weeks later. She was not very nice this time. True story. She grabbed the pizza, threw it against the wall. She said, Jeremy and Kevin, if you're going to make mistakes like this on purpose and take advantage of me, then you can work somewhere else. I want people that have integrity. Don't take advantage of me. Learned something about integrity that day. But even recently as an adult, because I speak about integrity quite a bit, I was at Best Buy with a friend. This is not too long ago. He was building a house, and he wanted to get this special TV for his room. Some of the guys, you love audio and visual. You want your little man cave. Now, this guy I would call a techie. I don't know if you understand what I mean. This guy loves computers. He loves gadgets, anything electronic. I'm even a little embarrassed going to Best Buy with him because he's got this list of all the specs he wants on this TV. And I'm thinking, this is a little bit over the top, but he is my buddy. So we go in there. We're talking to the salesman there at the TV place, and he's a techie too. So they're enjoying each other. Well, I want 1280 this and 700 this and PC. And I'm like, I don't even know what these guys are talking about. And all of a sudden the sales guy goes, you know what? I think Sony does make a model that has all these specs, but we don't carry it. But there is a store down the road that I think does have a model with all these specs on it, if you want to go there. Now, when he said that, I call a timeout. Now, I'm going to embarrass my friend for a second. Time out, man, time out to the salesman. Did you just tell my friend to go to a different store? To a competitor's store? Yes, sir, I'm sorry, we don't carry that model, but I think they have a few that have all the specs that he wants. I said, I want to talk to your manager right now. Please go get your manager. Now, this kid is freaking out, man. He is scared. He thinks he's going to get in trouble, but he's not. Manager comes over. Hey, is there some kind of problem here? Is there some kind of problem? No, there's no problem. I just want to tell you something. I was wondering if you could give this young man a raise. Now, all of a sudden, he's kind of confused, like, what? Well, I travel, ma'am, full-time, and I speak at a lot of different companies and corporations, and one of the things I talk about a lot is integrity, and he just showed that. My friend's looking for a certainty that you don't have. And instead of trying to trick him, instead of trying to manipulate a situation or steer him towards something he doesn't really want, he had integrity, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much that you probably just got a customer for life, because if this is the kind of people you have working here, I'm going to shop here. I wonder if you could give this guy a raise. Then all of a sudden he wants to give me a fist, like, yeah, dog, thank you. He's all excited, right? Integrity, love it. We need it in our personal and professional relationships. Integrity, the person who knows the right thing, says the right thing, does the right thing. Integrity.